In less than 3 minutes, a suspect walks to a craps table and steals about $1.5 million worth of chips.
Yeah, the robbery happened this morning at the Bellagio, and this is the surveillance video of the man in action. Investigators say after the suspect got his hands on the chips, he ran out the door, hopped on his motorcycle, and took off.
People were already kind of suspicious on who he was because he was walking through a casino hotel with a helmet on, and who does that?
Authorities believe he is also responsible for a robbery that happened last week at the Suncoast. So we know what he did, we know how he did it. So where was the Bellagio security when the robbery was happening, and why was the suspect never confronted? Fox 5's Kevin Bollinger has the answer, and Kevin, you've also learned that the suspect probably won't be able to cash in those chips.
That's exactly right, John. We're talking about high denomination chips, around $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 chips. It's tough to cash those without getting a few questions to begin with, let alone after a heist. We'll get more into the security measures in a moment. The one question a lot of people are asking, we heard it on the rant on Fox 5 News at 10, where was the security? How does a guy with a helmet get into a casino, rob it, and get out without being confronted? Well, the economy has led to cutbacks at a lot of casinos. It's not known whether the Bellagio has cut back in their security department over the last couple of years, but this guy certainly knew exactly when and where to strike. And experts say because of those security measures inside the chips themselves, it might be all for nothing. It's the ultimate roll of the dice, walking into what's considered one of the securest casinos in the world and walking out with nearly $2 million in chips. Remind you of something?
You want to knock over a casino.
It was an Ocean's 11 type moment.
Just not quite executed as well.
Jeff Voyles is a gaming expert and knows casino security inside out. While he admits the heist was gutsy, Voyles also adds,
there's no way to cash those in.
The robber took chips from $100,000 to $25,000, mostly of the higher denomination. But those chips likely have radio frequency IDs embedded and other security measures, making them nearly impossible to cash out.
500, 1,000, 5,000 and 25,000 most likely have serial numbers on them, or they have an embedded chip called RFID. They're able to track them, so they know exactly what chips were stolen off of that game.
An immediate hold was placed on the chips, so even going to other properties over time to launder them is tough.
Every casino's been alerted, so for him to even come back in a year, 2 years, it'd be very difficult to do that.
The bigger concern for the Bellagio is who was the likely second person in on the job.
The more sophisticated the crime, the more of a collusion base it has. In this particular instance, he probably had some intel. I don't know if it came from the actual employees, but it came from someone that was looking out, let them know that these high denominations were on that crap table, which is not quite as common.
Who the hell is this?
The man who's robbing you.
So even if our Ocean's 11 robber is looking over the Bellagio fountains after pulling it off, he might just be treading water. Now, casinos do have insurance policies that cover them in the case of a high amount theft. And you can also bet that other properties all around Las Vegas and even up north into Reno are keeping a close eye as to what happened and try to put measures into place so something like this does not happen again. That way they can be sure of maybe something specific, but you can know that if people are desperate enough, they're going to try and find a way to try and beat the system. We're live on the Strip. Kevin Bollinger, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.
Especially with this guy running around. He's hit the Suncoast and now the Bellagio, so they're going to be looking for him. Kevin, thanks. If you have any information on today's Bellagio heist, call Crime Stoppers 385-5555. Remember, you can remain anonymous.